Hey guys, so today I'm going to go a little heavier than I have done in these videos because I'm going to try to create something in the vein of Noctiluce, Malevolence, Code Orange, all those kind of hardcore metal crossover bands. The main band in that scene that sticks out to me is definitely Noctiluce, and a few months ago I did make a track that sounded kind of like them. Here's that. That one I took as long as I needed. Today I'm going to try and bash this one out. I'm going to try and make it heavier and just better than that one. And I'll walk you through everything I'm doing. I'll walk you through the guitar sounds and stuff. But yeah, the goal right now is just all out brutality, completely ridiculous, evil sounding shit. So let's see what we can do. I'm in drop A sharp tuning. I kind of just tuned down and felt like that was what sounded right. But anything low tends to work with this kind of sound. So as always, there's nothing written, nothing planned other than these presets. Let's get into that. So it looks kind of complicated as always, but you can see the color coded. This is guitar. This is bass, this is drums. So there's actually three things going on. This is just like bus tracks and me talking here. So guitar, we have this main sound on the left and right. Kind of standard metal sound. So what we've got going on here is a little EQ taking out some high mid. So I'm using this tube screamer with no drive just as a boost. And then the 410 amp, again, not that much drive, not as much as you would think. So it's literally just a tube screamer with no drive into the 410 amp binaural. And you wouldn't think it'd sound that heavy. Then we just got a few more EQs. Something I learned in college, actually, not even from a teacher, from like a audio technician guy. He was telling us all, like, the metal kids, like, turn your fucking gain down on your amps. None of the bands you like turn their gain up to 10. And I didn't understand at the time because it's like, well, the heavier the band is, the more insane distortion there is. But what I realized over the years is he was right. So thank you, Bob. The more distortion you have, the more your tone just, instead of it going, when you chug into it, it just goes. You need that. All right, so then we have a second and third guitar sound, same thing on the left and the right, but this is kind of like hard to explain. The second sound is not a very nice sound on its own, but it just has this low mid sound to it. Same tube screamer again, and then this stock Cubase amp, which I never really use. It sounds terrible, but for this is just kind of blending with the main tone and adding this like low mid bite. The next move no one's going to be expecting, and it's just one of those things where like none of these bands I'm talking about do this, I'm sure, but for me this is how I got the sound. You heard that track that I showed you a little clip of. It had this in the guitar sound. So anyone who's been watching the channel for a while will know that I did a video on Korn's guitar sound ages ago. I just found when I was trying to get this sound that if I blend that kind of Korn guitar sound and change it a little bit, it just kind of locks in with the guitars and the bass and creates this huge sound. So I'm not going to break that down right now because I did a video on it. But yeah, I promise you when this is done, having those Korn guitars in there adds something. Drums, as always, I'm just using the Get Good Drums metal kit. And I'll do processing on that later on. Right now it's pretty raw sounding. And bass, again, we'll get into all that. It's like kind of a bunch of different bass sounds. The bass tone in this kind of genre is a whole crazy thing. So let's just start writing something. I'm at 165 beats per minute. Let's try that. I just want to start with like a brutal riff with some nasty chromatic notes and stuff. So let's see what we can get. I'm definitely feeling like I want to build tension in the intro. I want it to be like brutal, but ominous as well. I want it to be like the breakdown's still fucking coming. Yep, let's just use that as an intro. Something simple and chuggy and foreboding. Not the cleanest playing, but I will correct that later on. Get it on the right. So then we'll go into a... Actually, let's not go into a breakdown yet. Let's make it like a slightly heavy intro like this, then go super ominous and not heavy, and then we go properly heavy. So here we'll have the drum fill, you know, here we'll have like... I hope that makes sense. Yeah, we'll have a little pause at the end, and then hell breaks loose. Is this going to be too nasty if I do this? Yes. Let me add some quick drums and we'll get to bass in a minute. Maybe like a splash to start it. Snare. And the floor tom. We'll change that to obviously a China and a crash. Alright, so quickly, this is where we will touch all of this up later on, but So we'll go like this crash, that crash, this crash, a China. And we'll put like a ride bell in between, I guess. All right, that's an intro. Now we'll go for some pure insanity. Let's see what we can get. Definitely going to be some nasty notes here. Got to start with that. One of the tricks, if you want to get that knocked loose sound, there's something I've always found so menacing is like, everyone uses power chords because it's like, sounds so metal, but what knocked loose usually do is just put the octave on there. So it's like you've got the bass guitar doing the low octave, then you've got, and so it's just this like, so maybe we'll go for those notes because I'm liking that flat fifth. Sounds cool to me. It's kind of rough, but we're just getting the ideas down. Put some nasty drums to it. We'll go for crashes and then open hats. Oh my god, maybe we'll just go for... Yeah, that kind of offbeat ride bell is cool. All right, one more breakdown, then we'll do some bass. So I've done the kind of diminished vibe in this riff. If you saw the video that I did on Slipknot, I feel like Knocked Loose, even though they're not considered the same as Slipknot, they have the same kind of approach when it comes to using wrong notes and using like jazz notes and stuff in a way that sounds really dissonant. And it's not like they're just pulling out wrong notes and going, well, this will sound wrong. You know, it's like it wants to sound so wrong that it sounds right. So that riff, it's all just diminished, half whole diminished scale. So yeah, after that, I feel like maybe I want to kind of take away the sensibility of like using a fancy diminished scale and maybe just go into all out chromatic noise. I just want to jump in, guys, and say if you're enjoying this video, hit the subscribe. It really helps the channel and it just means a lot to me. Also, leave a comment below letting me know what other bands or artists I should do a video like this on. I'm always looking for new ideas. And if you're interested in working together, hit me up on my Instagram or email below. Any vocalists out there looking for instrumentals, this will be for sale on my BeatStars in about a week after I put the video out. Let's get back into it. Yeah, that wants to just go Meshuggah. Yeah, oh, let's maybe go half time as well. I'm gonna leave that like that for now. Rather than doing the drums first, let's see what we can get on the guitar. Maybe we'll try that so it can kind of like go silent in between, like. But that would have to be kind of like. That would have to be like chokes on the China. All right, that's got to be bar 2. I feel like bar 1, it wants to just keep going. So, I mean, we'll still go for like, let's put crashes on every hit here. And let's put a ride bell on the offbeat. So we'll still like amp it up on the second half of the first bar, but... Yep, that sounds cool. Let's try it. Violent. All right, and on the right. The funny thing with songs like this, usually when I do one of these videos, it's like, okay, we've got a verse. Let's go for the chorus. Whereas this is just like, hey, we've got a heavy riff. Let's go for another heavy riff. Maybe we'll go into a fast section after this and then like a brutal breakdown. Maybe that'll be enough. So bass. So this bass sound, essentially, like the bass guitar and the kick drum, to me, is what makes this genre. You don't really notice the bass as much. Something I do in this kind of style is just push it so I'm clipping. Don't care that I'm not supposed to do that. It gives it the right distortion to my ears. Let's push it even more. So I have 2 main bass sounds here. And then these other ones that are basically just catching all that high mid grit. These are just random different sounds that I've developed over the last like couple of years. The main sound is this one. That's basically just quite close to the Knocked Loose sound. So I've got this guitar overdrive, which I actually added at the end. Before that, I had Dark Glass Ultra, of course, with tons of distortion on the bass. I was saying about the guitar not having a lot of distortion. The bass in this genre, you want it to be consistent. It can be compressed as fuck from the distortion. Full gain on the amp, Mark bass amp, compression afterwards, and then we've got all of the EQ, but it's just notching stuff out till it sounded right. I don't usually use guitar overdrive. I wouldn't usually use something like this on bass, but it's just, listen to that. It's the sort of thing where it's like, you're not going to notice it too much in the mix because it's going to be kind of in the background, but it's going to be fucking adding a lot of power. That's a pretty standard like grungy sound, and I'm using all the same stuff, but I'm using Cerberus bass amp, which is really good. And then it's all, I can't really break these all down for you guys because it's just kind of the same stuff. I just ended up with 6 different sounds I wanted to put it through to get the right sound. So any questions, let me know. Kind of hard to dive into all that. So bass should be simple enough because it's just kind of rhythmic. That'll do for bass. Let me just quickly put it on all the tracks. People keep asking me, by the way, like, can you do a video on like, you know, using like a bunch of different tracks to get one sound? I can do, and I probably will do, but this is by no means a good thing to do. I just end up doing it because I'm like, this one amp, I'm struggling to get the sound I want from it. I'll use another amp and another distortion pedal and stuff and just kind of create this overall sound that I think is cool. So let me know if you guys want a video on it. You see what I mean about the bass? Once I've mixed all of this and like got the drums popping, this is going to be insane. I don't know how I'm going to get heavier than this, but I'm determined. I said I have nothing written and I don't, but I knew when I was going into this, at the end, it's got to have a stupidly heavy breakdown, because what's the point if you don't just take it super heavy at the end? Before I grab my guitar again, let's just... Let's go for like a double time thing. Let's just add the drums before anything else. Oh, we'll go for the pick slide. I'll do some kind of drum fill here, like... That'll do for now. I'll make it cooler. And then we're gonna go kind of generic hardcore punk, like... Dun, 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 dun. Yep, that kind of thing. So let's see what we can get guitar-wise. Follow the kick drums. Dun, 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 dun. Actually, so we'll obviously follow that on the bass so that everything goes. That's not a bad pick slide. Usually takes a lot of takes. Yeah, so I'm thinking take that riff and obviously half time. Palm muted. This is gonna be fucking so heavy. So I just thought when I went, that needs some like drums. China, or is that gonna be too much? And then we're gonna go, where's the ride? Let's see if that works. I'm thinking like, exactly. All right, and we'll put a drum fill before, so. Gotta have a harmony. Let's figure it out. That will do. You know, if you want to understand Knocked Loose and you want to be able to write like Knocked Loose, I feel like I have a good understanding of what they do because when I was like 14, I was obsessed with Slayer. Knocked Loose, not to discredit what they do because they're great, but they are basically downtuned and slowed down Slayer. All the wrong notes and stuff, the diminished notes, the flat fifths, the Phrygian, it's all Slayer. Learn all of Slayer's songs and you'll be able to write just like Knocked Loose. When that has the bass under it, it's going to be heavy. All right, I'm actually thinking here is where we can do the inevitable thing that was coming. Let's go for another China. Why not? Let's do the toms again. Because nothing builds tension better than some toms. This is where I want to go into like a full-on breakdown. This is where you use the magic chord that tells them the breakdowns come in. This chord. So I'll track that. I'll slightly change the drums so that it matches that. 2, 3, 4. Alright, so tempo change here. Let's put it like 149, we'll try. Alright, so drums, something simple, brutal. Obviously the China's coming back for this. Let's go for the hats. Wait, no, that's not slow enough. Let's try that. That could not be more simple. 1, 2. Sometimes simple is most effective. Like, I understand why blast beats are heavy because it's insanity. This is like caveman music. Chug, chug, chug. Alright, we basically have a song written out. So we've got the intro. Fast part. I may add another section before this breakdown, we'll see. That is going to be insane when it's done. Okay, I'm going to go away and mix this, probably add some little layers and stuff. I'm going to mix the drums so that it's brutal, track everything, all the bass. We've got everything laid down here, but I'm going to take it away, finish it off and bring you guys back in and show you what I've got. Okay guys, I finished it. It sounds insane, especially that end breakdown. I cannot wait for you to hear it. I'll quickly walk you through what I've done. So I added one little riff before the breakdown. Other than that, it's just everything we wrote. Tightened things up a little bit, added drum fills, re-recorded the parts that needed it, just properly tracked everything so that it's sounding super nice. So we have a couple more guitar tracks. These are basically just duplicates of the main sound that I used for little layers on the intro, like this kind of thing. Nothing special. We have the same bass as before, and then everything else is pretty much the same, except I layered mainly for the out. So in the outro, we have this like pitched down version of the guitars. Sounds stupid, but it adds something in the actual mix. That's just these guitars, but pitched down an octave and EQ'd a little so that it's not destroying the mix. And then we basically just have these like layers of things in the outro to make it all hit harder. I'm doing some unconventional production stuff that some people would not approve of, but I promise when you hear this, it will just sound like a band. It just sounds like guitars, drums, bass, and just brutal. But I layered some kind of clever stuff in there. For example, this bass synth with a guitar fuzz pedal on it. I'll show you how it sounds. It's just copying what the guitar does. You don't notice it in the mix, but it just thickens everything up so much. So that's Vital Synth, and it's going through this fuzz pedal. Then we just have a bunch of drum sounds. So on top of the normal drum sound, I know that all sounds kind of random, but trust me, in the mix, you will notice what a difference that makes compared to just the kind of standard hardcore sound we've got through the rest of the track. The outro is brutal, so I'm not going to keep talking. I'm going to show you how it sounds. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far, let me know in the comments what else you want to see me do on this channel. Hit me up if you want to work together, send me a music. Knocked Loose, hardcore. Here is the track.